Hello, everybody, this is Purge, bringing you guys first-person replay commentary. This is an Elder Titan game that I played yesterday, or 2 days ago, with Blitz and a bunch of other joined Dota people. Take a look at Elder Titan's win rate in the pub scene, at least. He is not picked at all. 108th in popularity. That is one of the least played heroes in the entire game. He is almost never played. I think there are very, very few heroes that are played any more than or any less than Elder Titan, but he's definitely bottom 5. He's actually a pretty good hero. He was played decently in the pro scene in the last, I don't know, 2 years or something. He did see a lot of viability. He got a lot of nerfs to the hero, but he's still pretty good. The main difference is the Astral Spirit here used to do up to, I think, 225 damage or something, which is essentially a 300 damage nuke. He used to do a lot more damage with the Spirit, and they've changed a couple other things, mainly that natural order scales a bit better than it used to. Before it scaled worse, it does scale better now. I think that's it. They also added an Ags for the hero, but you probably shouldn't build that anyways on him. Yeah, he's barely played. He has a good win rate versus Meepo, which makes sense because the Spirit gives you plus damage based on the amount of heroes that it hits, so Meepo will super boost his damage. Apparently he's good against Earth Spirit, Winter Wyvern, Chaos Knight. Basically a lot of illusion heroes because it'll buff up his damage, and he has pretty good AoE, and most importantly, he has really good reduction of base armor. So agility heroes he's very good against. He's bad against Nature's Prophet, Lycan, Enchantress. Basically heroes that can lock him down or slow him. He doesn't have a good disable, and he doesn't have very good lockdown. It's more like a Visage. Interesting. Some of these heroes don't make a huge amount of sense, but apparently he's worse. He's really bad against summon heroes. There's a lot of summon heroes here. Nature's Prophet, Lycan, Visage, Broodmother. I'm not completely sure about the implications between all this, but that's Elder Titan. And then for me, I've played him 16 games and I have a 62% win rate. I feel pretty good at Elder Titan, to be honest. I feel like I understand the hero pretty well. So that's just the background as we hop into the game. Oops, I'm going to go to this one. All right, cool. So we're into the game now. We can go over his abilities really quick. This is probably a good time to do it. His most important skill is Astral Spirit, like I said. It sends out a copy of Elder Titan, and you can move it around independently. And if it runs through heroes, it does damage to them, it does magic damage. And if it, when it returns, it eventually returns. It has a duration of 9 seconds, or 8 seconds, sorry. It comes back to you, flies back to you. And then as it enters you, you get bonus movement speed and bonus damage. The movement speed and the damage are based on how many creeps and how many heroes you go through there. The numbers, you get bonus damage for creeps, but for heroes you get much more. So if there's a lot of heroes, you get a ton of bonus damage. So your right click on Elder Titan is pretty good due to Astral Spirit. His second most important ability is Natural Order, his third ability. What this does is it reduces the base armor or the base magic resistance of your opponent in an AoE. It's a small AoE 275. So basically what you're going to be doing is casting Astral Spirit, doing damage to people by walking through them, and generally letting the Spirit stand by your opponents while your allies do damage. And if you do this, their armor is reduced by 100% at level 4, and their magic resistance is extra reduced down to 33%, which is more than your base magic resistance. So you can kind of think of it as a damage amplification ability. And the cool part is that it covers all types. It lowers magic resistance, it lowers armor. So while the hero has very, very low damage, because most of his damage is out of Spirit and his ultimate, I'll get to his ultimate in a minute. Most of his damage is a bit weak, but the Natural Order aura allows you to reduce your opponent's base armor. And for Elder Titan's actually not that bad right now if you think about it, because a lot of agility carries are building stat items like Sanjin, Yasha, Scotty. Those things increase your armor through stats. If you increase your armor through stats, then Elder Titan's a really good counter because he counteracts that armor that people are running with. So Troll Warlord is going to get a big armor reduction because you do build a lot of agility items on him. It also lowers magic resistance, all that good stuff. His first skill, it's called Echo Stomp. What it does is after 1.8 seconds, you channel a stomp, and what the stomp does is it sleeps people. But it's like a sleep that can get waken up upon hero or tower damage, or hero or player damage. If they're going to be asleep for that duration, it also does damage 110 in physical and magical. The Spirits does magical damage, your hero does 110 physical. So if you cast this in melee range, it's actually pretty good damage, I think. Maybe it's not both anymore. It's only physical now, that's right. There's no more composite damage, so it looks like it's just physical now. But in the past it used to do, well, it says that the Spirit does magic. I can't remember if you get double stomp or not. We'll have to, I'll look in the game. But basically, you cast your Spirit, you can then stomp from range. The Spirit can't be stopped or it's invulnerable and stuff, so you can stomp people. And then you follow up with your ultimate, which is Earth Splitter. It's a 3.14 second delay ultimate, and it does a huge amount of composite or physical and then also magic damage if we look at it. It does magical, it says, Half of the damage is dealt in magical, half is physical. It also does a movement speed slow of 30% for 3 seconds. And the mana cost is very low and the cooldown is fairly high. It's actually a really strong ultimate if it hits your opponents, but it's very difficult to land. In a lot of cases, you have to use it as a zoning ability, or you have to use it in combination with your stomp. But when you are playing Elder Titan, it's generally better to only cast it with a stomp. And only when you know it's going to land. A lot of people will miss Earth Splitter. I think I missed a lot of Earth Splitters this game, but sometimes the situation gets bad and you kind of need to zone things out. I actually did a dual lane here with Blitz. But generally, Elder Titan can either be played as a support or as an offlane. When we were in Zephyr, at the end of last year and the last season, we played a lot of Elder Titan, and it was played as a support mostly, with either Blitz or Aosin playing it. And it's pretty strong. I didn't really want to show the Enigma that I was here, so I was just going to hide next to the trees, and he'll be able to bait him out here. And cast a Spirit, pull it back so I get bonus damage, and as you can see, I'm hitting for 20 right now, which is pretty high for this early in the game. Really nicely done by line there to curve to the side. Unfortunately, with my Spirit buff going away, I'm losing my movement speed, but I still have a big movement speed advantage over the Enigma. I couldn't believe that he Maleficed here. So that was a pretty easy kill, and I get about 15 movement speed out of it, which is not bad. And I can definitely get away from this, no problem. So that was pretty cool. I don't think I got the first blood. Who got the first blood? Witch Doctor actually died first, but I got experience out of that, so it was okay. But that's basically what you do. You cast a Spirit. It does damage to 2 heroes. You pull it back. You can pull it back immediately, or you can leave it out for its full duration. And then you get bonus damage and movement speed based on the hero. So I got 10% movement speed there. My base movement speed is pretty high at 315, so your movement speed is pretty decent as Elder Titan. And in a second here, I'll basically show you what the strength of the hero is. And the strength is basically that you're running through creeps and opponents. So look at this. I only got plus 16 damage here because I only got 1 hero, but it's still pretty high damage output. It allows me to hit heroes that I want to hit. And you usually will grab your passive and max this out second natural order. But you definitely want to get it at level 2. I think it's really important. Lowers armor by 40%. That's huge. I mean, it may not be a huge amount in the early game, but it can be a lot. And since they're going to Witch Doctor, I can either run, or what I can do is just go for a kill on the line. So that was pretty easy. You got a bash there, which is pretty rough, but I'll be okay. And the Witch Doctor ended up dying, but I got a kill, which is okay. I could have hesitated a bit less there and gone on the line slightly earlier, and I think I should have done that, but I did not. So he gave me a Clarity Potion, which means I need to sit back. That's one of the downsides of the hero, is you have some mana problems early, but the way to solve this problem is to buy a Soul Ring. And you should always buy a Soul Ring on Elder Titan, in my opinion, because you're casting the Astral Spirit a lot. You cast it very, very often, every 16 seconds or so. So you need a pretty big mana pool to be able to make that pay off. The best way to play the hero is usually just go Tranquils with the Soul Ring. Your base armor isn't very high either, so you kind of do really need to have some HP regen and some armor. And the Soul Ring Tranquil is the standard build completely, and from there you can build different things depending on what lane you are. But the last time that Elder Spirit was played, usually you go Tranquil, Soul Ring, and then you grab movement speed items, and that's because the movement speed of your hero also affects the movement speed of your Spirit. So I can run these over. So that did 75 damage. I'll check the number in a second. He actually doesn't have boots here, so I think I can chase him down. Oh, I should have spirited this. I didn't think about it at the time. That was a big mistake. I thought, oh, he's salving, I'm not going to be able to kill him, but I could have casted my Astral Spirit to break his salve, and I would have done like an extra 200 damage. I think that would have been worth it. I didn't think about it at the time, though. That was a mistake. We were just like, oh, we're not going to get him. That's too bad. So you can cast the Spirit out to get last hits, and then afterwards you walk them through all your opponents to get bonus damage. And I've got plus 58 damage just from 2 heroes and a little bit of creep wave. And this is kind of how you have to abuse the heroes. This is why I got a Stout Shield. Like, look at that damage. Isn't that ridiculous? I lost the damage here from my Spirit, so I decided to back, but it's pretty much what I wanted them to do, was come a little bit aggressive here. The line was doing a really good job here, zoning us with the cask. Is that what I meant? No, I don't think that's what I meant. He wanted to dive here, which I thought was a pretty good idea. I didn't quite have enough mana for another Spirit. I needed a couple more spells. I think this does it. And we can chase that. kinda... Did I dive this? Look at my damage, I got 52 right here. We do have creeps to tank under the tower as well. That was actually really unlucky that the tower hit me just now. I feel like he should have gone for me over the Witch Doctor there. But bought my soul ring. Can get another item in a second here, and I opted to get a ring of protection, which of course is going to be for my tranquil boots. Make sure that you always finish the soul ring first. The soul ring is much more important of an item than the soul ring is. Yeah, I got sunstriked. But I bought it at least, so I gave my killing spree to the invoker, but that's alright. So, yeah, always soul ring first, don't make your tranquils first in almost all cases. Obviously the soul ring gives you slight HP regen, so you can kind of get away with not having a regen item in the early game, at least slightly. It gives you, what, 3 HP per second? It's not bad. I would say this is a pretty standard skill build. I think it's worth it to get at least one Echo Stomp personally, because it does give you a disable and it does do damage. If I didn't have one in Echo Stomp here, I would have 2 in Natural Order, which does increase the base armor resist by a pretty big amount, but it's kind of a 1-point wonder skill. Maybe not that good, but it's very good at level 1, so I feel like delaying my points by 1 for Echo Stomp isn't bad. If you do want to land your Earth Splitter combo though, what you have to do is have 2 levels of Echo Stomp at least, because it's a 3-second duration. I tried to stomp here on the line, obviously did not catch him. Trying to get some illusion off here. Got my aura coming back as well. I'm surprised I didn't do damage to the troll. Like I casted it already or something. Luckily the heals from the Witch Doctor were pretty big here. And that worked out pretty well. We didn't... It was very sloppy. That's what Blitz said at the time. He's like, that was very sloppy, but it worked, and that was exactly right. By sending my stomp to the right, I wasted damage, and it did delay the line, I guess, which was kind of cool. But what I should have done probably is cast the Spirit on the Troll Warlord and set up the stomp on him, and then have us get in better position. Is what I probably should have done. This gives me my Tranquil Boots, and I'll be healing back up to full, and we can resume laning since, of course, I've got unlimited mana now because of the Soul Ring. So at level 6, I think I put another point in Natural Order. It always bothers me to do it. I'm always like, oh, I shouldn't do this. Like, Natural Orders, it doesn't feel like a good ability to me because it doesn't scale amazing, and you already get a lot out of 1 point. And I see all this value in the skill points, but in the pro scene, every single Elder Titan, at least for a long time, was going 4 Spirit with 4 into the passive every single time. I should have gone that last hit, I think, with a Soul Ring. That was a mistake. I should have stomped there. I think that was a bit of a mistake. I didn't organize that gank well enough. That was a pretty big error by me. Should have thrown the Spirit. Should have done the stomp. That would have at least bought us like another half second of Death Ward hits, I think. Either way, though, I mean, my HP is still really high. Found an Enigma. The Enigma was really underfarmed, I think. Remember, he had to get Malefice level 1, so I don't know how he got level 2. He probably pulled or something, but definitely not a good game for him. I'm just blocking the pull here, which is why I was standing here. Barely dodged that Sunstrike. That was really dangerous. I maybe should have Spirited as well. And I also should have ran directly up instead. Durka missing some raises here. I think he did end up getting the Enigma, but I feel like the hero he needed to kill there was Centaur, not me. Alright, so the Centaur went the obvious way. We thought maybe he was being... Oh god, is that really his skill build? Oh, that's the worst skill build I've ever seen. This is not the right skill build, guys. I mean, this isn't worth it. You want to put all your skill points into Double Edge, it's much better that way. Anyways, back to the bot lane. I've died twice now. I don't have that many CS. I think I actually let Blitz CS a lot of the time. Yeah, he's got a lot more CS than I do, but I got all the kills, which I think is okay. There we go. Troll pretty screwed there. Got my Spirit maxed out now, does most damage for me. Make sure that when you do play Elder Titan though, that you max out your Spirit. This is really important. Most Elder Titans that I see play, they're like, oh, why would I max my Spirit? It doesn't scale that well. I should max out my Disable and my my aura. It's the wrong way to play. You have to max out the spirit. If you don't max out your spirit, your hero has no farming ability basically, because the spirit does very little damage. The damage you get from it is really your right click. So your hero, as his usefulness and his strength is a bit hard to see, but it's both basically right click damage. That's what I did in the early laning stage. I grabbed a Stout Shield and I went around and I hit people by using the spirit advantage that I had. Like, you have to utilize the spirit in that way, otherwise your hero sucks. You have to max out your spirit first. It harasses your opponents, and most importantly, it also gives you damage. So look at that, I just increased my damage by 48 because I ran it through like 4 creeps. That's it. It just took 4 creeps and all of a sudden I have 48 damage and I can actually jungle very rapidly. You wouldn't have this if you had all your skill points other places. Remember, the way the natural order works is it only reduces your armor and magic resistance if your opponents have it, at least for the armor. The magic resistance of the armor only exists if they have armor. So if you have 2 armor, it only reduces your armor by 2. If you have 25 armor, it reduces your armor by 25. So it's very good against agility heroes. Like Morphling is a good example. It's very good against Morphling because Morphling has so much agility. Elder Titan is actually one of the counters against heroes like that. He's very good against Anti-Mage too. He can't lock the Anti-Mage down, but he does a lot of damage to the hero because Anti-Mage builds so many agility items and has so many stats and all that good stuff. This is a little scary here. I kind of wanted to go for the last hit, but I didn't really feel safe based on my HP totals. So instead, I decided to play it safe and move through the jungle. I'm building a drum now. I talked a little bit about drum in the last video on Mirana. I feel like the item is a little underbuilt right now, so I actually like building it lately. And it's very good on Elder Titan as well. I was not able to catch the Enigma there, unfortunately. I pulled my spirit back. That was a bit of a mistake. I should have kept it moving. Go try to harass the line or something like that. And again, it's only a 2-second disable right now, but it does zone people, and that's one of the nice things about it. Again, I think it's nice just to have at least one skill point if you need to interrupt a channeled ability or something like that. Again, most pro players would probably argue that it's not worth it at all. I messed this one up completely. Luckily, we did a bunch of extra damage to him due to the auras, so it was alright. We ended up getting the kill, but I didn't organize this very well. Very similar to how I played the bottom game previous. I just didn't organize with my allies at all, and it really makes the hero a lot worse. So, buying drum gives me generic stats, HP, allows me to attack faster, which is good, because I do bonus damage with right clicks, and the other cool thing that it does is the movement speed increase. If my hero is fast, then it makes my spirit faster, so when you're chasing people down, the extra movement speed makes a big difference. You cast the spirit, you collect all this movement speed and damage, the spirit comes back to you, and by the time the next spirit's off cooldown, you should have that movement speed managed to continue it. So you basically use all this movement speed to keep your spirit at max movement speed, which allows you to continue to collect damage and movement speed. It's kind of like a reoccurring theme. Now we did get that tower. We're mostly just looking for kills a lot, and since there's nothing to do, I'll just cast my spirit on both neutral camps and then farm them if possible. It does work on mud golems, so it doesn't do the damage, but it does give me bonus damage and movement speed. I just increased my movement speed by a bit here. Fortunately, those creeps hit me, but bit of a fight top. That looks like a dead Draw Ranger. I could have launched my Earth Splitter a lot better there, but I actually don't think my Earth Splitter hit at all. What I should have done is casted it earlier while they were chasing Toby, but I didn't. So I did my spirit slightly wrong there. Technically, you don't want to pull it back until it's the moment before. Till you're gonna have cooldown. So if you look at my cooldown here, it's about to run away, and I'm not off cooldown yet. If I had let the spirit out a bit more and waited for my cooldown to be back up, so the buff duration lasts for 9, you basically want to pull it back when you have like 7 seconds left on your Astral Spirit cooldown. If you do it that way, then you will continue the movement speed advantage and your spirit, and your next spirit at least. And look at that, 36 damage or so, just out of 3 neutral creeps. And you can jungle really fast doing this. I maybe should have been with my team, but I wanted to finish my drum money here and there. There, I finished it. Now this game wasn't really balanced. The MMR distribution is way off, so it wasn't like we really outplayed our opponents. We just had a big gold advantage, or a big MMR advantage this game. I think we won 6 or something like that. Spoiler alert, we won the game. But we had Chachi's support. I mean, let's be real. How could we not win, right, guys? So drums on the way. Yules is another really good item to have on Elder Titan because it allows you to set up for the stomp really easily. It also gives you mana regen and movement speed, which again applies to the spirit. So movement speed items are really good. At some point we started seeing Elder Titans also building Sanjunyasha at some point, like after the Yules, as like a continuous item. And SNY is pretty cool. It gives you slow on your opponents, it gives you movement speed, it gives you big damage, or HP increase, which is something the hero lacks a little bit. And I'm just gonna, you know, run these around here. And a little bit of Stomp there did actually buy them about a half second of disable, which is useful. Maybe pulled my illusion back a little too early again. But drum is finished now. See how fast I am with Tranquils available, but it should be pretty fast. This is kind of what you have to do. Micro the Spirit around, sit back safely with your hero, and then cast Stomp when possible. Oh, I'm sorry, my passive is still level 3, I didn't realize. My CS is not very good, but my GPM is probably okay. I'm at 332, that's alright. It's not that great, but you can farm a lot more in this hero, you don't have to though. Doing things like this, the Spirit are good when you're pushing, just trying to lock them down. It's only 14 minutes. Oh yeah, this is that game that we tried to go high ground really early. I forgot about this. I'm going to speed this up a little bit because we actually stood here a bit too long. Eventually we did end up leaving, but I'm just scouting things out with my Spirit. Sapping some damage here. Well, it doesn't sap damage, it just gives me bonus damage. It doesn't reduce my opponent's damage at all. And now queue up the Yules here. The attack speed helps though. You might argue like, why do you get Tranquils if you do have a right click hero? But I think it's still worth it. The extra armor that you get in the movement speed is really good, and it makes your Spirit run really fast because Tranquils give so much movement speed, and not to mention the fact that Tranquils does give you 4 armor. So I think the Tranquil Soaring build is the right one. The drum is good as well, and then you just transition into an SNY or something. I think Elder Titan's a pretty good hero, and it's not necessarily like the hero looks so weak in a lot of ways on paper. He looks so weak, you're like, oh, he doesn't have a stun, he just has this like shitty sleep thing, he needs all these skill points in a natural order, and his Spirit, which like realistically is kind of a waste, right, because they don't do that much. But once you start comboing Elder Titan with like other heroes, like Elder Titan Zeus is a really good combo, for example, because Zeus does all magic damage and Elder Titan reduces their magic resistance. He's basically a free Veil. If you put the Spirit on the enemy team and Zeus ultis, you're getting like a 30% damage increase or something. I don't know how the math works out exactly, but it's like a huge damage increase that you're getting on the hero just naturally because of natural order. And all the other heroes are doing, if we have a Shadow Fiend and an Elder Titan, look at the synergy there. I reduce their armor, their base armor, all the way down. So let's look at the enemy heroes really briefly. Let's see how much we're affecting. If I'm level 10, which I am, and I'm reducing their base armor by 100%, Enigma is losing 4 armor, so I have a -4 armor aura when I'm by Enigma. Lion only loses 2, doesn't do much against Lion, but Troll, look, he's losing 7 armor, Centaur is losing 5, and Invoker is losing 4. It's just that top number, not the plus thing. If somebody buys a plate mail, it doesn't reduce that. It just reduces base stats like agility. So I'm reducing Troll's armor by 7, and we have an SF who's reducing armor by 6. So we actually have a lot of minus armor. Look at that, I caught like 4 heroes here. Let's see what my bonus damage is. Boom, I have plus 199. That's why it's so good against Meepo, because if you get this bonus damage, you're really increasing your duration. So I put a sleep down there. Line got pretty cleaned up. I pulled the Spirit back too late. I should have left it there, because again, I want the passive to be able to reduce their armor and all that good stuff. Pop the drum here to try to save, and another defensive ulti. I did actually catch the troll with this, I believe. This time I actually let the Spirit stay. That was good. Getting some mischance here. Oh, I missed micro really bad there. That was a pretty huge miss micro. I walked in too close when I casted the Spirit. It was kind of a bad Spirit anyways. Obviously I missed, so. Yeah, cast the Spirit, do the Stomp. when your allies do eventually go in, you're going to do hyper bonus damage, basically, or enhanced damage. That's where the hero is useful. You just need to be able to cast Spirit continuously. You get some bonus damage. You can eventually translate that to right clicks. Now, Elder Titan's not amazing versus Troll, probably because Troll does blind you for 60%. It's one of the nasty things that Troll does. It just prevents your opponents from being able to hit you. That's really obnoxious. So Troll's really good right now. He can prevent you from hitting him, so the bonus damage I'm getting is a little bit wasted. I think I just had the same like 4 times in a row, but whatever. That looks like a Witch Doctor in trouble. Oops. I thought that was like the game was slowed or something. It was not. And again, keep the zone people out a little bit if possible. It's my bonus movement speed. A Zonian ultimate. Okay, and more killing, all that good stuff. See, like if you don't combo your ultimate with something, it's tough. You have to combo with your sleep. Basically, it's a good setup if you can like sleep 2 people and combo them with Earth Splitter. It's fantastic. But if you don't land the Earth Splitter, it's kind of a weak ultimate. It's good to just keep it at level 1, by the way. The damage is the same at all the levels. The only thing that changes is the slow duration and the movement percent slow. So it goes from 30, 40, 50 to 3, 4, 5. I think this does go through Magic Immunity. It goes through BKB. The movement thing, the slow maybe does. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I should have known that before I started the video, but I didn't think about it. I think it does go through Magic Immunity, though. The slow does, at least. I don't think the damage does. So it's a pretty good ultimate. I mean, if you can combo it, it's... Elder Titan's, like I said, he's kind of a weird hero. He doesn't have very good disables, but I feel like if I played this hero a lot, I could get really good at him. I just never really play him that often, but I think he definitely is still viable. I think he's like a cool hero to get good at, right? Nobody plays him. He has a lot of skill shots. He has a lot of interesting mechanics. I feel like there's a lot of cool things you could do with this hero. Even a Midas might be worth it if you're doing really well in the offlane. You could go like Soul Ring into a Midas and then transition into an AC. Again, you don't have to build damage items really on the hero because you get the damage from the Spirit. So if you build like an AC on the hero, then you're further reducing armor of opponents that you're already reducing by natural order. So reducing armor by natural order, you follow that up with an AC, and all of a sudden you're doing like minus 15 armor in a team fight. That's really good for your team, especially as an offlane. He's much more utility, not as much as like a semi-carry ganker. I think gankers are really important right now, but team fighting is also really important because you get gold from team fighting as well. So send the illusion in, scout out the other heroes, get some bonus damage here. He's able to sleep the invoker here. And I have my Yules now. I was so sad about that. My Earth Splitter didn't go far enough. Isn't that depressing? I should have Yules that guy faster. That was my bad. I just checked his BKB timing and it was pretty long. I basically clicked my Earth Splitter way too short. Got him with the Spirit. Good stuff. But I clicked my Earth Spirit too short. I got a good stomp off, but I needed to catch him with the Earth Spirit, the Earth Splitter, to do damage there. Unfortunately, I didn't get him. So I'll just continue to sit back. Like those raises were doing 321 damage. The raises do 325 at max. So I'm basically increasing the damage by like, what, 50 or something like that. It's pretty huge. The amount of damage that everybody does is way higher when you play Elder Titan. It's really shocking. You're like, oh wow, that actually did a lot of damage. It'd actually be really cool to see like an Elder Titan Undying combo. It's probably really bad because your disables are really weak, but I feel like if you could combo those two together, like, because Undying's Tombstone amplifies damage, as does Elder Titan, basically. So those two things together, I wonder if that'd be a cool draft to just stack that up. Do like a damage amp combo. And then as you're pushing, send the Spirit deep in enemy lines, stomp people as they're approaching. The best people to stomp is almost always supports. You can stop Blink Daggers, but as the team fight starts, if you keep the Spirit in the back, stomp on the supports, you can focus on the carries. If you're disabling people for 5 seconds, that's obviously really good. I could have ultied this, maybe, on the line. I don't know if he would have died or not, but probably not. I would have gone disabled. Earth Spirit's such a cool ability, though. It's like, I think it's one of the coolest looking abilities in the whole game, that's for sure. It looks really good. My KDA looks good here, but I should be farming more. I think that's one mistake when I play Elder Titan. I don't really farm enough. Just heals the Centaur because I want to prevent him from being able to stampede or ulti. Or slow, all that good stuff. You can right click the spirit on heroes too, if you'd like. Was not able to catch the Centaur in time, unfortunately. It looks like it actually did damage the troll through BKB there. But I'm not sure. Oh, luckily we have a Night Stalker so we can see him.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's top barracks has fallen. Radiant's
You can do little tricks as well where you pull the spirit back. As it's returning, you can stomp it and it'll stop it. There's a lot of little tricks that you can do on the hero to confuse people, set up spirits when they don't expect them, stuff like that. Winning the duel offlane was really good, though. I mean, we did trade kills kind of equally in a lot of ways, but...
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's ancient is under attack.
His armor's reduced by like 7 here. I don't know. I think the hero's fun. It's like, it's kind of boring, I guess, because you're doing the same thing the whole game. You just cast your spirit, and you stomp the ground, and then you cast your spirit, and you stomp the ground. But you're like, it's like you're fishing. You're like a fisherman. You're like fishing for team fights the whole game. You like throw out your bait, and if nothing bites, that's fine. You just wait another time, and then you cast Soul Ring, and you cast it again, and then you see if you can catch people. And if you catch people, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I just stomped 3 people. You slam the ulti down. Your team initiates, and you've got like a huge disable. And a huge amount of damage, because think about how much damage that ultimate does. If somebody is like a Centaur and he has 2,000 HP and does 35% of their current, you're doing like a 700 damage nuke to that guy. Half physical, half magical. That's a big impact. And it's pretty good against all heroes. Like, even if somebody's like an anti-mage and really tanky, you can reduce their tankiness. Especially, he's really good against agility heroes. I don't know. I really like the hero. I think he's fun. He's almost never played. I think you guys should try him out. The most important thing is just to learn how to micro the spirit separately, hockey your spirit, send the spirit out, get the stomps, and play the hero. I think he's great. Try him out. That's it for my video today. I'm going to be making a couple of videos today. I probably won't upload them all. I'm anticipating some break in the next week, but I'm going to make sure that I have videos for you guys. I'll let you know more about that soon. I'm pretty excited to announce it. And that's it for me. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you later. Bye.